Good afternoon to all of you. I welcome all the participants and our guests for this session. For this day 2 session for Atal FDP on unleashing the power of data science for Industry 4.0. And I am very happy to have our guests from DCDA. And I request our HOD ma'am to present this memento to our chief guest. I request Dr. Neelam sir to introduce our guest to the audience.
So very good afternoon to all. Thing is, today I stand here to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Mr. Jyoti Periyaswamy. He is a board member. Sorry to interrupt you, Jyoti Periyaswamy, and he is the board member and lead instructor of US Davis Applied Machine Learning and Data Engineers. Sir, having more than 19 years of management consulting, end-to-end artificial intelligence implementing experience, Sir is passionate, accomplished, and highly adaptable lead instructor and chief data scientist at the University of California. Jyoti Periyaswamy is a deep expertise in finance, data analytics, and cloud to build a world-class next-generation learning platform of data science, data engineers, and data analytics. Sir is also teach Udacity Nano degree offering data science and data engineering program. He also worked as a board of studies member of various university and learning facilitator at MIT Sloan School of Management. He is serving as a coach and mentor for faculties, students, and management in cognitive science and developing in industrial learning curriculum for applied artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and data engineering. Mr. Jyoti Periyaswamy, a global recognized thought leader for finance, digital, IoT, big data, and data sciences by Forbes, TechCrunch, Mashable, CIO Review, and many organizations. He had successfully delivered over 50 customer engagement across several industries using multiple technologies, including SAP, HANA, Hadoop, Spark, and Oracle. But beyond this impressive resume, what truly sets Jyoti Periyaswamy, his mission is to empower learners and professionals with the skills and knowledge to thrive in the data-driven economy. He is not just a leader in his profession, but he is also a compassionate human being who contributes extended beyond the workplace. Respected academician, please join me in extending a warm welcome to visionary leader.
Thank you, sir.
I requested Golda ma'am to introduce the team.
Sure, ma'am.
I'm happy to introduce the team from DeepSphere AI. Let me extend a warm welcome to Mr. Raj Mohan, who is a partner in the DeepSphere AI. He's a highly experienced professional with an extensive background in information technology. We're happy to have you here, sir. I'm happy to welcome Mr. Danish, a data scientist with hands-on experience in machine learning, deep learning, AI, generative AI, and LLM models. I would also like to introduce Mr. Prakash Tavamurugan, who has got over 6 years experience in shaping data science strategies in finance, healthcare, oil and gas, retail sectors. Let me also introduce Mr. Vikraman S., a data scientist from DeepSphere, who has got experience with Amazon Web Services, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Power BI, data engineering, large language models, and LangChain. So welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, now the session is open.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you all. I really want to thank the head of the department and Chitra madam. And there's a lot of team members that work with us. We really want to thank for all of your support, help brought us to this level to come in front of you and to talk about generative artificial intelligence. So I'm not a PhD person. I never done, but I heavily involved in academic side. Right? I'm currently teaching at UC, University of California, Davis, Santa Cruz, Berkeley. Okay? 3 campuses I teach, exclusively data science and machine learning. I also, as an instructor at MIT, Sloan for MBA students, I taught courses. and a lot of institutions. I don't need to list the names and all. So I teach, that's my passion. I enjoy. If anyone asks me the job that I like the most, I had many options. Like I worked with Mukesh Ambani one-on-one for 6 months. I built the geosystems, biometric authentication. So he asked me to join his team as a CIO and report him that I didn't take it. He asked me why. I said, I love teaching. I want to go back and teach. So I love teaching. Okay. Thank you. So with that said, the way we structure this discussion, this session, in 3 levels. Since what I heard from head of the department, Madam told, so audience are from different profiles. So some from computer science background, some from non-computer science background. We just want to build the layout, the base. So before we go on to generative artificial intelligence, let's understand the ground reality at the base level. What is really involved in artificial intelligence? Then we'll go to generative artificial intelligence. Once we understand, then we have live system demonstration. Whatever we talked about, so that's going to be demonstrated in the system so that you will connect the dots. Correct? You will get to see whatever we are talking as a terminology, as a concept, how does it work in the real world? That's a system demonstration. So once we're done, then the last one, thank you, sir, please. Okay. The last one, we had a small exercise. It is more towards prompt engineering. So how do you interact with large language model? What's the role of prompt engineering? So how you could build simple prompt and interact with the model, get a response from them. So that is how the structure of the program in the session today. So we will start with the foundational learning, try to understand the basics. Then we'll move on to generative artificial intelligence. Then we can move on to demonstration, then the lab. Okay. So feel free to stop and ask any questions you may have. If there is anything that you are not clear, you can ask us. Okay. So I do want to start some small introduction. So about the company that we represent, DeepSphere. So then that wouldn't take too much time, so which I already talked about. Introduction, foundational learning, generative AI, industrial application. Then getting to start with this one, that's a lab that we went. So DeepSphere is the company we all represent. I'm the founder. So what DeepSphere does, it exclusively uses generative artificial intelligence, large language model. So we provide an educational platform. Currently, SRM uses the BCA student across all 4 campuses, Katangulattur, Ramabutram, Vadapalani. The data science programs ran our platform. So what this does, it creates a content at a personalized level, which you will see when we go into demo, you will understand. So if a class of 100 students, not all 100 students will have the same assessment. Question will be random in nature. The student myself don't know what question they will get actually. So we use large language model to create those questions. So that's the core in our platform. A platform provides personalized learning management to learn cognitive science at personalized level. So that's the platform we provide. The platform is built on SAP Litmus, which is basically a learning management system. We took and customized for our needs in an agreement with the SAP. Then it is hosted on AWS. So it's a SaaS model, software as a service model. And we use Google Cloud primarily for lab infrastructure. Any model we build, any model we train and test and deploy, it's all happens in Google Cloud. You will get to see them. So that's the core of our platform. So this is something that I talked about. I'm just giving you a description about what the platform does, which I already explained to you. So coming to, you may ask, there are other companies like Coursera is there, Udacity is there, correct? So these questions everywhere, wherever we go, people ask us. Okay? So we are not that kind of company. So they provide vocational programs, correct? They select a course. If you want to cook biryani, there is a course you can learn and cook biryani. We don't do that actually. So we provide full-scale academic program. What does that mean? If it is a 3-year program, we provide content for all 3 years. If it is a BE BTech 4-year program, we provide content for all courses. Example. So yesterday we were at Palmyra Engineering College. So they are going to introduce Gen AI into the BE BTech program. So for that, we are offering 6 courses. Those courses are offered on our platform. So what we are saying, we are not another training company like Coursera, Udacity, or another educational institution. So we are an academic platform provider, where education provided at a personalized level. The content will be generated using generative AI, large language model, and that is offered for the student to learn at the personalized level. That means if I'm interested to learn basics, you can learn basics. I understood basics, I want advanced, then I can go to the next level, intermediate level. I have done both, I want advanced, then to go to the advanced level. So we provide such platform. So that is what it is. So these are the publications we made, like I told you. So there is so much talk about ChatGPT, correct? But how does it work in a real world application, correct? So how do we use it in our day-to-day life, correct? So those things are missing. So we wrote a book on ChatGPT for enterprise, build an enterprise scale application. Some of them you are going to see today. And we also wrote a book on prompt engineering, data science. Like a lot of books, it's all available on Amazon, you can check that out soon. So we are not just coming and talking something that where we don't have any prior experience. So we do deep research, we write like articles, publishing articles, industry contributions. So all of those things we do. So that's kind of like I wanted to give you. So this is just to tell you that how deeply we are involved in the industry. So this is for the Malaysian government. We developed a digital education strategy. The government of Malaysia asked us to build a strategy to convert current education system into more of a digital form when the COVID happened. So they asked us to develop an education strategy for converting the current education system into a digital form. So that's just sharing what we done as a company. And this is in Africa, we built an skill development program for the entire continent. Okay, so this is for taking people who don't have any knowledge about data science, machine learning, teach them, and then making them an employable resource to that country. So that is the program. And we worked with the Prime Minister Office of Dubai. So there we worked with the Minister of AI, so as an advisor for 2 weeks. And then we also worked with the US Department of Defense. So on the 15th, we are going to Sri Lanka. So we are the governance body for the Sri Lankan government. So they got 1.8 billion from the World Bank to upskill the country to AI, train and schools, colleges, universities more towards AI. So we all 5 of us, like 4 of my team members and myself, we are going for the 15th and Sri Lanka. We'll be there for like almost 5 days. So we are helping the government to understand what it takes to roll out such a complex program across schools, colleges, universities. So we work in that capacity. So we are very much like empowering social systems, empowering society. So that's the type of work we do. All right, and this is some of the college. I'm going to skip all of those things. That's fine. So with that said, I'm going to move on to so what I wanted to talk about, the fundamentals. So this, I'm sure, no question, all of you already heard about this one actually. Okay. I really want to start from here so that this will help to set the stage, and then we can move from here to generative artificial intelligence. Correct? So how we have been using artificial intelligence, what it means to us, both from academic perspective, industry point of view. Let's understand this one. What is it we can do? Right? So again, I'm not saying these are all new to you. I'm 100% positive you all heard about this terminology. Okay, what is artificial intelligence? You know. Okay, what is data science? You know. But if I want to contextualize, probably may not know. Correct? If I ask someone what is data science, there will be 100 different definitions. Correct? Someone says big data. Somebody says data warehouse. Somebody says data analysis. Correct? It's not that. Okay? It is not that. It's a very simple term. Correct? So let's understand the ground reality, what this means from industry point of view. Again, I'm not representing an academic side. There is nowhere I can qualify to talk about it. So you are all well qualified, you are PhDs, so you are well settled in that space. So I'm bringing it to industry perspective, what this means to you, right? So that is what this is. I call these are all mysteries. The reason it's called mysteries, there's no clear definition, right? There's no clear definition. Each one of us have its own view, right? Somebody says this, somebody says that. Which is right, which is wrong, no idea. Okay? So let's understand the ground reality. So let's understand the ground. So what it means from industry point of view. So things what we do on a daily basis, right? We cook, eat, we drive car, we solve problems. All these things, what it means to us, some form of an intelligence. Okay? If somebody asks me to read a Spanish news magazine, I can't. Why? I never studied Spanish. The same token, if someone asks me to read about a Tamil newspaper, I can read. Why? That's my mother tongue. I study, I have knowledge, I understand the dialogue, I understand the literacy, I understand the letters, I can do this one. What is it called? Knowledge. Okay? Intelligence. Okay? So if somebody asks me to cook biryani, I have no clue. Why? I never learned, and I have never tried any of this one. It doesn't mean I cannot. I can. I can watch YouTube videos. I can read something about cooking. Then I can make a biryani. So the point what I'm trying to make, anything we do on our day-to-day life, it all has some intelligence. Okay? It all has some intelligence. So those intelligence basically what we are talking at this point. Okay. So these it's not only this. Anything we do on our daily basis. Driving a car. Not anybody can drive a car. Correct? You have to take lessons. Okay, the lessons could be on of your own or going for a driving school so you can take lessons. Correct? So like this, whatever we do on our day-to-day life, it all has some kind of intelligence built in. That is the point I'm trying to make. Such intelligence, if it is performed by a human, then it's called human intelligence. Okay? Such intelligence, if it is performed by a human, it's called human intelligence. A medical doctor, he is a human. What is the doctor doing? Diagnosis. So what the doctor is doing? Medical prescription recommendation. So in this case, the doctor considers to be a human intelligence. A driver who's driving a car, so the driver understands the road condition. The driver understands when to stop, when to go, when to slow down. The driver understands how to make a change in the lane. Right? So these are all skills, knowledge, expertise. So it is performed by a driver. He is a human. He or she is a human. It's a human intelligence. Right? So the point I'm trying to make, any intelligence performed by a human, such intelligence is called human intelligence. Okay. How did the human get this intelligence? Either a formal training or an informal training. Formal training, the word training is matter. That is why we have machine learning, right? We have to train the machine. The word training is most important. So how do these individuals get skills, knowledge? Either a formal training or an informal training. Formal training, a well-defined curriculum, a structured schedule, a well-qualified instructor, etc. So these are all formal training. Informal training, I can ask my mother, I can ask my brother, sister, take me and teach me how to drive a car. That is an informal training. Or I can watch YouTube video, learn from there. That's an informal training. There's no schedule, there's no structure, there's no benchmark, correct? Like there's no assessment. It all happens by yourself. That's an informal training. So to keep it simple, so any intelligence, okay, performed by a human, we call human intelligence. How did the human get this intelligence? Either through a formal training or an informal training. Formal training, well structured. Informal, no structure behind the scene, right? All right. So this is an intelligence we are getting from this one. There are intelligence we are gaining when we grow on our life cycle, right? So when we grow, there are certain skills we gain without any training. Those skills are emotional skills, correct? Example, if there is a baby crying in front of us, so we are not going to just watch, let the baby cry, correct? We as a human see what we can do to make the baby not to cry. Why? That's an emotion, correct? That doesn't need a training. I don't need to go and watch a YouTube video how to stop baby to cry, not crying, correct? So those things are emotion. You react based on what happens in front of you. That reaction is driven based on your experience, your growth, your maturity, correct? That doesn't need to be in a formal training or informal training, correct? So these are all called emotional intelligence, okay? So we understand what's an intelligence. Things what we do on a daily basis, those are all intelligence. And such intelligence performed by a human, it's called human intelligence. There are things for the human to gain such intelligence, there's an amount of training required. There are intelligence happens without a training, over a period of time on your maturity, in your life cycle. Such intelligence, emotional intelligence. Let me summarize. So what we studied, we understand what's an intelligence. We understand human intelligence. We understand emotional intelligence. Now let's get into what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, by definition, this is my correct. Like I said, if you ask 100 people, you will have 100 answers. Correct? Somebody says this, somebody says that, with all on their perception. So my way of telling artificial intelligence, three key things. Finding an alternate, substitute, replacement for anything what a human does. Okay? An alternate, substitute, replacement to human is what called artificial intelligence. Whatever human does, okay? The word is very broad. Whatever human does, it could be a medical doctor, it could be a scientific research, it could be legal professional, right? These are all human job functions. Anything human does, that all can be done through artificially in the form of either an alternate or a substitute or a replacement. Okay, so that is when we need artificially created intelligence. Okay, so when people ask what is artificial intelligence, finding alternate, substitute, replacement for human intelligence is artificially created intelligence. Let's put 4 points to this. Alright, these are all fine, but I cannot go out and say in industry I'm going to do alternate, substitute for a human. Correct? People don't believe in these things. How does it apply in the real industry? Correct? And this is again 100 people have 100 different way of selling many things. But in a real practical world, only two things you can do using artificial intelligence in real world. One is data science, second is an intelligent automation. Beyond, please ignore, it has no meaning. Okay. Using artificial intelligence, what we can do in industry, only two things. Only two things. Okay. So if there is anybody else told anything, you could simply ignore this one. It has no meaning. Right? So using artificial intelligence, we can create data science and intelligent automation. So that is why you see programs BE data science, BTech data science, BE data science, BSc data science. It's a discipline, right? So people want to specialize in these areas, right? So those are the two things we can do in industry using artificial intelligence. Intelligent automation, an automation occurs without a human, no manual intervention. Okay, automation occurs, there is no human involved, there is no manual work involved. The automation occurs by itself. Okay, which we'll talk a little bit later, so that we can understand. The second is data science. So the best way to understand data science, I'm sure you all know, by definition, apply science on data. So far what industry is doing, creating reports, right? They create reports, they create static information. They never applied science into this one. Why does the word science comes into data, correct? So this is where science and humanities subject like probability, statistics comes into picture. Things around decision tree, random forest, logistic regression, linear regression, etc. So these are all part of your science and humanities, correct? You take that principles, apply on data, analyze data, and that is why it's called data science.
Statistics is applied on data before data science process.
Yes, sir. So that applied as a manual process, not through a machine, correct? So now we are using machine. Let's take an example. In the Facebook, I want to find out how many people from SRM in Facebook. Okay, do you think we can use statistical model and analyze this one? We need a machine which is going to internally apply statistical modeling techniques, correct? So the machine is the key in this case, correct? So it is done through a machine, not through a human, correct? But the point I'm trying to make you understand is applying science on data, extract hidden insights. So applying science is the point I'm saying. Who's applying? It is applied by the machine. The machine is the one who's going to apply this one, right? So the yes, it is already there, correct? It is not new to us. So artificial intelligence, it's been around quite a while. Data, it's been around quite a while. All these things are there. So now it's become a reality. Now it's become mainstream. Now it's become in a visual object where we can see. Okay? So data science is nothing but apply science on data, extract hidden insights. Okay. So this is what we can do in industry using artificial intelligence. All right. So let's move on. So when you combine these two, which is data science and intelligent automation, you form a digital transformation. You see Reliance Digital. So what does that mean? The information flows in a digital electronic form. The best way to understand, if you are using the food services, food delivery services, Zomato or all these things, those are the digital platform. So that means the time you place the order, the food delivered, it's all happened digitally, correct? There is nothing that manual process involved. Taking order, processing order, cooking the food, bringing the food, processing your credit card, it's all done digitally. So let's say if there's food preparation is going to take time, they will update you, tell you the forecasted arrival time, it's not going to be 10 o'clock, it's going to be 11 o'clock because there's a problem. Or if there's an accident, whatever happened, they will tell you. So that's a forecasting, that's a data science. The entire process of running this one transaction and everything, it's intelligent automation. Because you are not going to give a credit card. The credit card is already defined. They process the payment, they will send you the receipt. That's a transaction base, that's an automation. So combination of intelligent automation, combination of data science together forms a digital transformation. So digital transformation is not writing on a piece of paper and saying that I'm doing digital transformation. That is how a lot of the companies are saying, right? A true digital transformation requires implementing an intelligent automation, data science together. Okay, so that is how you form the digital transformation. So in a real world, how we apply artificial intelligence in three forms. One is in the form of an intelligent automation, in the form of a data science, in the form of digital transformation. All right. So let's dive a little deeper. So what is an intelligent automation? The best way to understand. So these are all autonomous cars. You may have seen it or you may have heard about it. So these cars functions without a human. There's no driver sitting in the driver's seat. The car functions by itself. These cars are live in the United States. If you have no Elon Musk, he owns the company Tesla. Almost all Tesla cars are autonomous cars. So the BMW X I series, if you heard about it, the I series is electronic car. That is fully autonomous, correct? Like that means the entire car, there's no one had to sit in the driver's seat and drive the car. Here we don't see this one. Can anyone tell why we are not having autonomous car here in India? Pardon?
Maybe traffic rules are not.
Traffic rules, I don't think that is. Ma'am?
Sufficient
conditions.
Road condition is one factor, I agree. So beyond all, the policy, correct? Like, the government has to put a policy in place. Let's say if an autonomous car got into an accident, who's liable? Is the person sitting in the car is liable, or the owner is liable, or who's liable? How do you file an insurance claim? Because insurance claim goes based on the driver, insurance claim goes based on the owner, etc. Correct? So in this case, the car goes by itself. So we don't have such policy in India. In the US, there are policies, correct? If an autonomous vehicle hit by somebody, if it's got into an accident, they have a public policy which declares how to handle the situation. See, when you have an instance like this, typically what we do is file an insurance claim. The insurance client need to understand what happened, when it happened, all these things, correct? So, but this car is autonomous car, there's no driver here, correct? So in this case, they don't know how to handle the situation. Who can do this one? It is a policy maker. So we don't have a policy, but it will happen soon. When it happens, you will see a lot of autonomous cars. So this is an autonomous.
So
Yes,
in
ma'am.
this, will it be able to distinguish between like an ambulance or if
Those
there
are-
is an-
yes,
that-
ma'am, yes,
No,
ma'am.
I'm asking because you say that it's already available over
Mhm,
there.
mhm.
How do they balance this? I'm asking.
So one is the car understanding there's an ambulance coming on the back. I have to give way for the ambulance to go. That is one question I can understand. The second question, as a policy maker, the autonomous function is deployed in an ambulance, correct? It is not only a car. The ambulance itself is an autonomous function, correct? So that is
Oh,
a
ambulance is also
yes,
autonomous.
truck, huge truck is an autonomous function. So Elon Musk, he released a truck, correct? Commercial truck like the lorry, correct? Here we call it car, like here's a truck. So those are autonomous functions, correct? So there are multiple ways to look at it. So if your question is more towards like, okay, so does the policy handle like, or the autonomous vehicle handle, there's an emergency vehicle coming on the back, can I leave a way? Yes, it should be. The model should be trained in such a way it understands it leaves the way so that the ambulance can go. The second question more towards like an ambulance itself an autonomous vehicle. How does that going to react? So it is all possible. Correct? Whatever an ambulance is supposed to do, all should be trained, it should be taken care of. I don't see that's a problem. Anyway, so let's quickly move on. So the point what I'm trying to make, these are all intelligent automation. Here, the automation happens without a human, there's no manual instruction. Nobody's telling the car, stop here. Nobody's telling the car, go here. Nobody's telling the car, like make a change, learn change actually, correct? It's all happened by car itself without a human intervention. So there's no human involved, there's no manual instruction, it's all function itself. Such automation is autonomous functions. Autonomous functions called the intelligent automation. So don't think it's only for building this car. Any function you think automated without a human, without any manual instructions, such automation is intelligent automations. Okay, all right. So this I talked about. My definition, basically, when I say data science, you apply science and data, extract the next science. Yes, sir.
Regarding automation, for example,
Yes.
filling the Aving packet and all, there's a machine is there, it will pour the milk in the packet.
Yes, sir.
When it says intelligent automation, it's
So-
automation only.
Yes, sir. So there's a one keyword is most important, self-learning. So if you look at the car self-learns. Okay, we don't know when the red light is going to come. When it comes, it learns and understands and stops there. We don't know when the green light will come. When it comes, it learns and understands. As long as any automated function, if it is self-learning,
That's-
that is the key. If it is self-learning, then it is artificially created intelligence. If it is not self-learning, it is instruction-driven. Correct? Instruction-driven.
Into automation.
Yes, it is not artificially created intelligence, correct? It is an intelligence, collect data, analyze data, extract insights. The doctor listens to you. Once after listening to you, the doctor puts all the information together and comes back and tells, based on what he told, it looks like he had a food poison. Okay, so that conclusion, that recommendation is the outcome of data science, correct? Huge amount of data, analyzed, it gives you back insights. The insights could be a prediction, the insights could be a recommendation, the insight could be an actionable business insights, right? All this is possible. So here, the point what I want you to understand, we are not automating anything like an autonomous function. Instead, we are extracting hidden insights on a data set, right? So that data could be anything. It could be health oriented, or it could be public services oriented, or it could be education oriented, right? Anything, it's possible, right? So here, no automation. Instead of, we analyze data, provide insights, make recommendation, do prediction, okay? So that's how we do. All right, the best example that I could think, in the United States, we work with some of the hospitals. They want to find out length of stay. When a patient comes to the hospital, how long the patient can stay in the hospital. For that, you no need a medical doctor, okay? A machine learning model can analyze patient's data and tell, based on the health condition, this person can stay for next 5 days. Length of stay, readmission, based on the behavior, this person, when this person is going to be readmitted. Discharge, when this person can, all these are all done through machine learning model. These are all live examples. These are examples that what we have done using machine learning models. So these are all data science. These are all data science. So I think I kind of touched this one. Digital transformation, the best way to understand. Any of these taxi services or food delivery services, in the US we call DoorDash and Uber, okay? So these are a digital platform where you can order taxis, where you can order food actually, correct? So if it is a taxi, I can just tell where to go and that's it. Pick me from here, drop me here, that's all. The rest, it's all fully automated, okay? So while I'm here, I can book a taxi for my family in Sacramento, California, okay? The same app. So based on the destination, based on the pickup location, it understands the local currency, it understands the timestamp, it calculates everything, okay? You don't have to physically go and do this app. Worldwide, it doesn't matter anywhere you are in the world, wherever you are, you can book a taxi for your friends and family anywhere. Let's say my friends are in China, if I want to book a taxi for them from here, yes, that is possible, okay? So that is the platform typically brings digital transformation to life, okay? So if you want to understand digital transformation, the best way to understand, look at this, the food delivery services like Zomato or any other taxi. I'm just using Uber based on the US. Any other taxi services, so those are all considered to be a digital platform. So how does these are working? As I told you, the combination of the data science, intelligent automation. So what we talked about artificial intelligence. With that, we have intelligent automation, digital transformation as a real industry application. When I combine these two, it forms a digital transformation. So this is the core essence of artificial intelligence. All right. How does these are all possible? Okay. How can I create such intelligence? And this is where machine learning comes into picture. Okay. This is where machine learning comes into picture. Like how you are teaching a student, instead of a human, teach the machine. So that the machine can do the same thing what a human can do. So this is where machine learning comes into picture. If the goal is to create artificial intelligence, such as data science or an intelligent automation or a digital transformation, teach the machine. Okay, so this is where you have many different dynamical view of looking at supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, reinforcement learning, deep learning, this and that, etc. So we're not going to go all of those. That's going to take ages for us to get finished. So understand, how do I create intelligence artificially? Teach the machine. And how do I teach the machine? That is where the machine learning concept and principle came into the picture. All right, let me stop here. See if we have clarity so far. Do you all understand? So this clarity, in my view, it's missing many places. You can watch YouTube video, and I've seen people like talking about it, but they don't explain in such a way anybody can understand. Okay. So this is fundamentally most important before we get into big advanced topics. All right. With that said, let me move on to generating artificial intelligence. Okay. So this is kind of setting the stage. Then we can build on top of it. Okay. So what is the problem we see here? Any idea? So what is the problem that we see in this particular artificial intelligence approach? So these are all very narrow focused. What do you mean by narrow focused? You take the autonomous car. Inside the car, there is a piece of software running. That piece of software controls the car. So far what we have seen, a mechanical engineer going and building a car. Now, instead of a mechanical engineer, a software engineering building a car with autonomous function. Okay? So it is a change in how we build cars. Okay? So the problem here, the autonomous function through the machine learning, what has been built, it knows only that. Okay? It does not work in other industry. So whatever I build for automobile, I cannot take that, put it in healthcare. I cannot take that, put it in retail industry, consumer industry, finance industry. So that is why it's very narrow focused. Okay? It is one problem, one solution. You need an autonomous vehicle, here you go. This cannot work in other industry. Okay? So this is very narrow focused. And this is quite expensive. Correct? So we want to build a generalized model which could be deployed across many industries. It could be healthcare, it could be another industry like consumer, retail actually. So how do we build that? So that is when generative artificial intelligence came into picture. Okay? So at this point, whatever we studied, so these are all very narrow focused. Okay? So that means it will solve only one problem. What happens in industry, this become obsolete. Okay? Nobody even considering using this at all. Okay? So if we are teaching the students, it will be very difficult for the student to go out and find a job because now people are not using any of these kind of approaches. Okay. Just to cover our base, I talked about this one. So let's move on to the next topic. So now we wanted to understand generative AI. Okay. So this is something I would say very revolutionizing in the industry as well as educational institutions. Okay. So when I say educational institutions, almost I would say whether it's a small company, large company, medium company, correct? They all wanted to leverage ChatGPT, correct, in some form, correct? They all want to leverage. So that is a model built based on this concept of generative artificial intelligence. Okay. So why does everybody wanted to take a role in that one? Correct? So two reasons. One is it does not need technical skills. Prompt engineering, it's a natural conversation. What do you mean by natural conversation? It doesn't require Python programming. It doesn't require Java programming. It doesn't require SQL. Correct? Whatever you speak in the same language, you interact with the model. It's a major breakthrough in industry. Use a natural conversation to interact with the model. That is what the generative AI changed the way we do model building, model training, testing, and interaction of this. Second, if we heard about ETL, extract, transform, load. Generative AI does not require zero ETL. So these two, it kind of major breakthrough. It is revolutionizing the industry at this point. Industry never had such processes or approach. Okay? So generative AI brought to this one. Let's understand what is generative AI and why does it is so much demand at this point. Okay. So then we'll go on to the demo part. So I explained to you the traditional artificial intelligence. So if you are teaching students data science and machine learning, you heard about these terminologies such as classification, regression, clustering, association, etc. So these are the models we teach students to build. Okay, so these models very narrow focused. Okay, let's say I'm building a model which is going to predict out of all the students which student is going to pass or fail. I cannot take that model, deploy into a consumer business. It's very narrow focused model, right? It knows what you train to do, that's all, correct? Beyond, you have no power, correct? So these models, what we taught for the students, whatever the students are learning, such as classification model, regression model, clustering model, such as using decision tree, random forest, logistic regression, linear regression. So these models are very narrow focused. So these models are not generalized model. I would simply say this become obsolete. Okay, I have not seen people going out building these models. So if you are teaching the students, I would strongly recommend considering change to generative AI. Okay, the student won't be able to find the jobs. They should know how to work with generative AI, large language models. Okay, so this is the current state. It's a traditional approach. Okay, so now what industry is trying to do, where industry is trying to go. I don't want to build this narrow focused models. I want to build a generalized model which solves many problems, correct? Not just a problem, many problems. Okay, one model solves many problems, correct? So that is the approach I want to take, and that is why it's called generalized model. A model has been generalized to do many things. Like you can do in the medical field. You have gynecologist, okay, very specialized area, and you have anesthesia people, very specialized. If you ask an anesthesia person to do a general medical checkup, he or she, they won't be able to do. Why? That is how they are trained. They are very narrow focused, correct? They don't understand general medicine. And there are people who do generalized medicines, correct? They deal with fever, headache, this, that, correct? So same concept here. If a model is trained to do one thing, if that is very narrow focused, then it is a narrow
You can't
intelligence.
say it's narrow focus because as human being, we can't specialize in all the domains of that.
But sir, so there is a difference between what a human can do, what a machine can
That's
do.
what, that's what. We can't say narrow focus, but that's only possible.
I'm just giving
I
us
can't give
an analogy to understand these things, correct? Okay. So I'm not saying all gynecologists are narrow focused or like anesthesists are narrow focused. That's just an example that I am given. It is a specialized area. They do only that.
So that's
Correct. But if you look at general medicine, so they do many things, correct? They give medicine for headache, they give medicine for
Yeah.
vomiting, they give medicine for fever, all such things. That's a generalized medicine. So the same concept applies here. The reason why it is called generalized model, it solves many problems. It's not a problem, a solution, correct? So industries wanted to move away from the narrow focused industry, narrow focused intelligence. They want to build generalized model. So if you want to build generalized model, what kind of model that you can build? And this is where large language model comes into picture, LLMs comes into picture. So people work very extensively on large language models to implement the concept of generalized models, generative AI. Okay. So right now in industry, the key talk, large language model, generative artificial intelligence. So this is what companies are looking, employment opportunity, as well as strategic focus for anybody, where you are an education institution or a business organization. So all of the focus is on how do I use this type of technology? How do I leverage this to solve my problem? Correct? That is the curiosity you see in most places. Okay? All right. So as I explained to you, the generative AI is a foundation model. What does mean by foundation? We need to understand that, because a lot of people, I ask question ChatGPT, it doesn't give me a right answer. Okay? So I asked ChatGPT, it gave me only some answer, but it was partially right, partially wrong. Okay? So we need to understand ChatGPT is not a fully trained model, it's a foundation model, it just provides the base. Okay? If you are trying to build a model or a solution on a specific problem, such as healthcare problem, or a problem more towards an education, a problem more towards things what we do, correct? Those model has to be trained, optimized, fine-tuned. Then only it will work, correct? So otherwise, it is like a laying a foundation, correct? In a construction, you lay out a foundation. On the foundation, whatever you dream house, okay, my dream is 8 door, 5 windows. Somebody's dream 10 window, 20 doors. You all can build on top of the foundation. Nobody's stopping you, correct? The foundation is there. On top of it, whatever you want to build, you build, correct? So that's the idea behind it, correct? So the foundation model provides a platform to build things what you want to build on your own, correct? It doesn't stop you. So the idea here, you don't have to start from scratch. You have a foundation, right? In a construction, there's no need for you to go and dig and build a foundation, it's already there. You just focus on building construction of your house, correct? So somebody can, like I said, build a house with 10 door, 20 windows. Other person can build it on the same foundation. So I don't want 10 doors, I want 7 doors, 22 windows. So everybody has their own needs, everybody has their own interests. You build whatever you like to build. Okay? So that's the idea behind. Why does it called a foundation model? Okay? So this is a foundation model. Anything can be built on top of it. All right. So why does the word generate came into picture? Okay. So the reason it generate came into picture, it technically generates content. What type of content? The content could be text, the content could be image, the content could be voice. Anything of this nature can be created. Like example, I can create an education material fully text based. I can create a study material with a screenshot and explanation, both visual as well as a text based. So I have an image and I also have a text. I can also create an education material more of a recorded voice. Okay. I can also create a recorded video instruction. All possible. All possible. I just told only education. Same applies to other industry, healthcare, legal, any other industry that you can think of. Correct? So whatever, let's say I'm an advocate. I want to create a legal document. I can use this model to create a legal document. I'm a medical doctor. I want to create a medical prescription. I don't need to handwrite anything. You can use this model to create this. It is possible. So this model generates content across various industries in the form of a text, in the form of an image, in the form of a voice, in the form of a video. Okay? So that is why it's called generating AI. It generates content. Okay? It generates content. So content could be applied across all industries. Okay? All right. So the other point I want you to understand. So we have been dealing with so far natural language processing. The traditional natural language processing is different from the large language model. The large language model, it's a different approach. The traditional natural language processing, such as predicting the next word. Okay? In a sequence of word, I want to find what's the next word. Or I want to form a sentence or frame a sentence. Or I want to take a set of data which has insights, find out where it's a sentiment, where it's a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment. So these are all things we done in the traditional natural language processing. So the content is very short in nature. It is not like a reading a text file of 100 pages. Okay? It is a very short content. But if you look at taking a textbook and creating a question out of this one, that is not a short content, correct? A textbook could be 1,000 pages. Taking the entire textbook and creating a final assessment based on this one, so that is not like predicting what the next word is or doing a sentiment analysis, right? So it is beyond. So that is why it is large language model. Reason, the text is very lengthy, very long. Okay, so you build model around this one. So these are all language modeling. So language modeling involves sentence formation, words formation, creating paragraphs, etc. Correct? So all has to logically flow. Correct? I cannot put a sentence here and there and say I've created a content. It has to logically flow the content. Correct? With the contextualized information. So what you're asking, it has to logically flow. So working with a model which creates that type of content, okay, a very large text-based content or image-based content, etc. Such models are large language model, which is different from the natural language processing. So the point you need to consider, if you are teaching students the traditional natural language processing, I'm not saying it's a bad, I'm not saying it's because we need to stop, but it may not have much value, okay, when you compare large language model, okay. When you compare large language model, the traditional natural language processing that what we teach for students to form sentence, predict the next words, sentiment analysis, correct? Things like that. It may not have much value. So I would recommend focus on large language models. Okay, that just to give you an idea. So what is large language model is? So this is just to another thought behind what models could be used. So typically we work with the BERT model, the bidirectional, it's a transformer architecture, bidirectional encoder representation. So the other model, LSD model, and that people use. So we used in our projects these models, like understanding about certain characteristics of the given data sets, okay, whether the data set has any profanity, insert bugs, like that. So we use those models like the BERT model and LSTM, so long short-term memory and recurrent neural network models. So these are all deep learning models. That is what we use the traditional one. But now I'm sure you all know OpenAI, what it stands for, right? So that's in ChatGPT. Then Google has one, Meta has one, Hugging Face has one. Like this, there are many vendors out there. So those are the large language model people typically now use actually. Okay. So this is all these things just to give you an idea. And so what we are doing right now, we are launching our generative AI program in collaboration with SRM. So the Ramapuram campus is offering an MCA program, Masters in Computer Application, with specialization in generative AI. In that, we are offering 6 courses. Okay, if you want to get started somewhere, so where do I start? Right? These are all not just 1 hour job or 2 hour job. It takes enormous time to be an expert. Okay, so how do we start? So we are offering these courses in collaboration with the SRM Ramapuram campus, and that's where we work in the morning. So this is part of the MCA program, and this is something that believe next academic year they want to launch this one. So these courses, what we are offering. So we have foundation level courses, 2 courses. Then the intermediate level courses, 2 courses. Then the advanced level courses, 2 courses. So this is just the course overview. So what are the courses we are offering? So these 6 courses we feel would build a very strong foundation, someone to work with generative AI, large language model. Alright, so I'm going to skip these, are all a little bit technical. I'm going to skip this, and I'm going to skip this. So these things, there are 3 topics I will cover, then I will bring my team member to do the demo. Okay. So beyond generative AI, there is also a lot of industry expectations on these 3 topics. One is ethical AI, second is responsible AI, third is explainable AI. Okay. So these things, beyond what generative AI does, we have to understand why. So let's say you're asking a question on ChatGPT, okay? A very sensitive personal information. Let's assume I'm asking personal information about Jayalalitha. Okay, I'm just giving you an example, okay? I have no idea, okay? So what's that personal information? I'm asking a personal information to ChatGPT model. Is the model supposed to respond to me? Or the model say, no, I do not know anything about it, or it's a personal information, I cannot say anything. At this point, the model will respond to you something, whatever it's been trained and whatever it's knows. Okay? All right. Who's responsible for this model? Okay. So what the model should be doing, what the model not should be doing. Correct? I have no rights to ask someone's personal information. Correct? I was nowhere connected. Correct? Both legally, ethically, that is not right. Correct? So what is the intent for me to ask someone's personal information? So now how do you teach this to the model? What the model can do, what the model cannot do. So this is basically an ethical component of model building. When you train the model, when you build the model, make sure there is an ethical component built along with the model. What is the ethical component? What the model is supposed to do, what the model is supposed not to do. Right? So if the model is going to be deployed on a public domain, okay? If it is your own personal thing, nobody cares. If it is in the public forum, you need to ensure ethically what can be done, ethically what cannot be done. I just gave you an example. Okay? If I am asking ChatGPT and a very personalized, sensitive information about somebody, the model should say, oh, this is very sensitive personal information, I cannot do it. Okay? That's just an example I'm saying. It is a governance framework to ensure when you build a model, to make sure the model provides ethical information. Okay? That is the point. The second is responsible. What is the responsible does? Let's say the model made a mistake. Okay? The model made a mistake. Who's responsible? I talked about the autonomous car. The car is on the street. It got into an accident. Okay? Who's responsible? Is the car by itself responsible? Or the owner is responsible? Or the driver is the person who's sitting in the car is responsible? Who's responsible if something goes wrong? If everything looks green, nobody cares. Right? So we all good, you good, I good, we'll move on. when something goes wrong, that's when the problem starts, correct? If something goes wrong, who's responsible? So when you build the model, make sure you also have a function of responsibility, okay? If there's, so we all tend to make mistakes. By mistake something happened, okay? By mistake something happened. If it happened, who's responsible? Make sure when you build model, you have such discipline in place, correct? If this happened, this is what the person is responsible, like that, right? So that is also another key area. Everybody who are interested to learn more about artificial intelligence, generative AI, they need to know this one, okay? All right. The last one, then I will tell. Explainable AI. So currently I'm doing a research on IBM Watson. So the research is, when a model predicts something, let's say I'm asking a model. So I'm asking, my class has about 100 students. Because of the COVID, I'm not in a position to conduct the final exam. But I want to use my prior exam and assessment, test and those marks. Then I want to predict who are all will have what grade, right? One is pass or fail. Second, what will be their final grades are. Let's say the model is telling John is going to be A, Lisa is going to be B, Mike is going to be C, correct? So I can't simply go and publish these things, right? So there are some legal consequences. So what happens? The students are coming back and telling, like, hey, listen, I performed all along A, now I'm getting C. How does that possible, correct? So that is not possible, right? So this has some legal consequences. Okay, before you publish anything, whatever the model predicts, you must be in a position to explain, okay? What is the factor the model used to predict this one, okay, behind the scene? Which factor it's influenced higher? Is the students' participation, okay? The students' participation is very poor, but on the exam, they did really well, okay? So the model used participation as a factor to give C grade when the student got all A in their entire exam, right? So I need to explain this one, right? Is that the right thing? That I cannot tell. So the teacher has to make a call, right? So things around this. When a model predicts something, when a model makes a recommendation, make sure we are in a position to extract insights from the model and telling the model. All right. So we should be in a position to explain why the model made the decision. So that is at a higher level, explainable AI. It is, so these three functions, ethical, responsible, explainable, most critical, any model will be, okay? So this, you may not be aware of it, it become a industry standard practice. Anybody who's trying to teach somebody to learn machine learning, data science, artificial intelligence, they are expected to teach these things. Reason, this will be translated into policies, government policies. Okay. I believe I'm done with my presentation, and I hope you are able to understand what I told. If there's any question, I can take it. Otherwise, I'll bring my experts. They will do live demo. Vikram is eagerly waiting for the demo now. Any questions?
I have one question.
Sorry, sir.
Actually, Google has invented that Google car. Suppose the same idea used by other company, who got the patents?
So Google, this is the problem actually. Every car manufacturer, they have their own patents that will not work in another car. So whatever model developed by Google, it will work only the car that they are used for train the model.
Model, but that idea is what.
So idea, once it become public, you don't have a patent to control this one. I will take whatever you done, I can make a small change somewhere, okay? So the patent will not going to hold accountable for anybody, correct? Let's say you build an autonomous car, the car maximum goes 50 miles per hour. I'm building an autonomous car, it goes 51 miles per hour, it came to public market, no patent, nothing can secure them. That's because if your patent is described with X, Y, Z features, I can add X plus Y plus C, etc. So there's no way of holding the patent. So until unless if it's not commercially brought into the market, it's something secret, then you can fight for it. Once it's publicly available, People do all kinds of things. All right. Any other question? Okay, ma'am. So if we want to take a break, small break, that is fine. Or if you want to continue.
Definitely need a break.
Okay. So I hope you found the session to be very
Yes,
useful.
sir. It is.
Thank you.
Shall we go for a short break? By 3:45.
We want to do, we want to show you some live demo on whatever we talked about. Okay? So we talked about using generative AI to generate content. So we are going to demonstrate that right now. So what you're looking at, it's an app that what we built just for a demo purpose. So we work with different, like type of application, language-based application, vision-based application, and text-based application. So that's what you see on the top. You see language, vision, and voice. Okay? And next, some basic understanding about the prompt engineering. So we also have that one as well. So we want to walk you through and how do you interact with the model, how to build these kind of applications. So that's all this one. So this is just more of very basic understanding about interacting with models for various purposes. Let's start from language. Can you select the language? Okay. So when you select language, it's going to ask you for what model you wanted to use. So you can leave whichever model you want to work on. So we work with all models. Once you leave that one, it's fine. So now can you click on the drop-down list? So it gives options. So the option, either you can generate a code or a text. Okay? So it depends on what you want to do. If you want to generate code, it will generate a code. If you want to generate a text, it will generate a text. Select text. So when you select, this is a prompt now. It's asking you what's the input to the model. Okay? So I'm asking the question to the model. So this is a prompt engineering. So you can ask, describe Chennai. Describe Chennai. So if the model is well trained, okay, DESCRIPE, describe Chennai. Okay, so I think this still does the spelling, but that's okay. So now C should be capital. So now if the model is well trained, whatever has been trained, if that has enough information about Chennai, it will give you. Let's say if the model is not trained, so this is where either you have to change the prompt. Instead of asking describe Chennai, I can ask a specific character about Chennai. What is Chennai is famous for? What is Chennai is known for? And what is the capital of Tamil Nadu? Like this, I can try with a different prompt so that to see the model is understanding or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this one. So this is the prompt engineering to interact with the model. So now, when you see here, it is asking you to submit this and interact with the model. So I'm going to interact with the model. On the top, you see there's a running icon. So now it is communicating with the model and try to get the response from the model. So you got a response from the model. So this response what you're looking at, it may or may not relevant to what you are looking for. I am expecting something, but the model is not giving something. If the model is not giving something what you are expecting, then the next step is see if we can improve this through prompt engineering. If it is not, tune the model. If it is not, train the model. Training model requires you have to pay for OpenAI services. It is not free. Okay? You take a particular version of the model, train on your own data about Chennai or Chennai related areas, then the model will understand. Okay? So here I'm asking the model to generate text-based content. Okay? So this is again for a demo purpose to make you understand when we ask model to generate content such as text. In the text I'm telling describe Chennai. Whatever it's been trained, whatever is known, it has it. Okay? Alright. Now let's say my intent is not text. I want to write a code. Okay? I want to write a Python program. Select code. When you select code, it will ask you on what language. So language could be C, Java, Python, whatever, you can select them. Let's go ahead and select Python. So now, what is the problem you are trying to solve?
I+2.
So yes, whatever you give, so you can give them actually. Just for a demo purpose, let's do this, find odd or even numbers. Okay, it's again demo purpose only. This is not a full scale solution. This is to trying to explain the concepts what we talked about. Okay, so now go ahead and submit. So this is basically the model is, we are asking the model to write a Python program, which is basically trying to find out whether the given number is an odd number or even number. It gave you the code. Okay, so now let's say the code is not up to what I'm expecting, or the code is missing certain things that what I'm looking for. It misses a documentation, or it misses the way that I want to declare a variable, or it misses the way I want to intend the code alignment and etc. That you can tune, optimize, and improve it. Okay, in the prompt itself you can tell. So I want the code to be fully indented, and I want the code should have more comments, etc. So you can give them actually. So here, I'm not asking to write a paragraph about a Chennai. Instead, I'm asking the model to write a program. Okay. So any complex program can be done. In terms of improvement of this program can also be done. Okay. So don't think that like this is going to be the end state. So these are all very basic model. When you interact, it works with you based on what it has been trained. Yes, sir.
The same code will be generated again, or any optimized code will be displayed, sir?
So if the prompt is changed, it's going to give you back the same code. If you change the prompt, it will change the prompt. There is a possibility how the model has been trained. So based on the prompt, it can change. Okay. So you can explore this one actually. So these are all free. Currently, so doing some basic things are free. If you want to really go and train the model and then optimize the model, create your own version of the model, that's when you have to pay for it actually. Right? So there's a free service, there's a paid services. If you want to explore further, the paid service is what is needed actually.
Our trained model, there is a already given that which model you trained and what is the attributes given in that.
It is the website, in their website actually. If you look at OpenAI website, they list all the models and also the cost involved in terms of how much is going to cost for training, how much is going to cost for just making an OpenAI services, API services. It's based on the number of tokens. Right? I think it's 0.04 or something like that cents actually. So I'm telling the US, but I don't know how it's working here. You can check that out. So it's on the website. Every details on the website.
Like describe Chennai you told. So describe Chennai, what are the parameters or what are the factors you taken?
I have not given anything. I just told the model only describe Chennai.
Okay. So how the model will know that how on what basis you have to train?
It is based on how it's been trained. Actually, the model is being trained in all data sets in the world. Correct? So that is why it's a large language model. Correct? It is not like just a one set of data sets. It's a very large text has been trained. So let's say there is a page in Wikipedia. It talks about Chennai. The model could have been trained using Wikipedia. Let's say there is a website about Chennai. It finds there actually. It depends on, it's trained all websites that you could think of. It trained all other things like GitHub, correct? Any of those document repositories, it's trained everything. So whatever it learned, it built the foundation. So now on top of it, like I told you, I want to build a house with the bells and whistles. Then you can take and build and train everything on your own. Okay? Alright, so this is both very text in nature, right? Whether it's a code or a description, both are text-based. Now let's say I want to deal with images. Okay, now select image. So I am asking the same model to create an image. Okay, so this time the model is not going to produce any text. Instead, it will create an image. So I'm going to ask the same question, describe Chennai. So I'm going to ask the same question, describe Chennai. DESCRIPE, C capital, CHANNI. Okay, so this time I'm asking the model, describe Chennai in more visual form, okay, in a graphical representation. I don't want it in the text form, I want it more in a graphical representation. Did you submit? Okay. So whatever the model has been trained for, it could be a geographical map about Chennai, or it could be something, but it created an image. You can see this one. So based on how the model has been trained and what the model is known for, so it created something. I don't know, it looks like it's a geographical map, correct? Something of that nature. I really don't know exactly what this is, so I'm not able to see from here. But the point what I'm trying to make you understand, the same model, it generates an image-based content. Okay? So it is not a text-based content, it's an image-based content. So here, the point I would like to make, the same model creates text, creates program, creates visual images. So that is why it's generalized model. That is why it's generalized model. And the model generates content, it's called generative artificial intelligence. So we work with text, we work with images, now let's work with the voice. Now select voice. So here I have two options, either voice to a text or a text to a voice. Okay? So I can speak, I can ask the model to translate that voice to a text. I can give a text, the model will translate that text into a voice. Let's do text to voice. Select text to voice. So here this is samples we put. So what we put, it could be a male voice, or it could be a female voice, or it could be some different language person, some Spanish person.
Spanish people.
Yes. Or let's say Karnanidhi, how Karnanidhi is going to speak, we can ask them. How Jayalalitha is going to speak, we can ask them. How Rajinikanth is going to speak, we can ask them. Right? So sky is the limit, you can put anything on the drop down list. We just put some examples, correct? So don't think it's only these three is possible. Anything, sky is the limit. You can ask anybody, correct? So if you have some character in your mind, if you ask how this character is going to speak, right, you can do that actually. So let's say male voice or female voice, whichever you feel comfortable, select one. All right, which one you select? Okay, so select a female voice actually. So we are trying to find out how does female say. Do the same thing, describe Chennai. Yes, model input, describe Chennai. So I'm asking the model, take what I'm giving as an input and create a voice out of this one. Okay. So I'm using the same thing, describe Chennai. So for text as well as here. So when I give, it's going to take and create a voice. It created a voice, now play the voice.
Chennai. Describe Chennai.
Okay, so change from male to female to male voice and use the same one. So this time I'm going to use a male voice and then give the same content and see how it plays.
Chennai. Describe Chennai.
So you can understand there's a difference between a male voice and there's a difference between the female voice. Now select Spanish voice. So like this, any character you wanted to simulate, it's possible. Okay. So like I said, if you want to ask how the model, Karnanidhi, Rajinikanth, whoever is going to speak, it will try to do the same thing. Alright, so now play that voice.
Chennai. Describe Chennai.
Yes. So this is what we have, a text to voice. I'm giving a text, I'm expecting the model to translate the text into a voice form. So the other way, voice to text. Okay. So can you change the voice to text and say describe Chennai?
Describe Chennai. Describe Chennai.
Describe Chennai.
Alright, so the voice has been recorded. I'm going to ask the model to take the voice and generate text out of it. Okay, so now submit this one. Sorry? Okay, yes, so sorry, I can't read from here actually. So it's done. So this is voice to a text actually. Okay, so these are all some basic examples for you to understand why it is called generative artificial intelligence, because it generates content. Okay, all type of content. If you want to create a video, it is possible. Like I said, so I am a movie director. I want to create the dialogue for a particular character. Okay. So I'm a music director. I want to describe a scene and then ask the model to compose the music. It will compose the music. Okay. So that is why it's a generalized foundation model solves many problems. Okay. I hope this helps to connect the dots when we talked about generative artificial intelligence, what it means. So the second demo I want to how our platform, okay, so when I say our platform, the intelligent learning management platform that what we have uses generative artificial intelligence. So we want to demo three things. One is, if you are a teacher, you want to conduct assessment. To conduct assessment, you don't have to sit down and take questions. So instead, you tell me based on what you want to generate the question. Is based on a textbook or a PDF file or a Wikipedia website, XYZ. We take all this input and generate question out of this. Let's say I'm a teacher, I don't have a study material or handout for the student. I want a study material or handout for the students on a particular topic like data science. We generate content. Third, an assessment. So students are conducted with a test. They wrote the test. I want to take the students' answer, both descriptive as well as programming type of answer, and grade them using machine to grade them. So we are going to look at these three, and this is the true use of generative artificial intelligence in education. So education become very personalized. Education become fully automated. Okay, the entire process. All right. Now let's select question generation. So I'm going to select question generation. So this is an application. Behind the scene, our platform uses, our intelligent learning management system uses. So here I'm trying to select question generation. Once I select the question generation, it will ask you on what basis I want me to generate the question. Is it based on a text file or a PDF file or any website, etc. Select a text file. So when you select a text file, it will ask you the text file and browse and select the text file. Okay. So he's going to select a text file. Once you select a text file, it gives an option to preview the text. Go ahead and preview the text. So this preview will give you the text that is being given as an input. Take this text, generate question. Again, if we have a 1000-page textbook, we are fine with that. If we have a website which has like hundreds of pages, we are fine with that. If we have a PDF file which has 50 pages, 100 pages, we are fine. We can take anything. Alright, so now I looked at the preview. It is asking what kind of question you want. Do you want to fill in the blanks? Do you want a multiple choice? Do you want true or false? Match the following. We don't have descriptive. You can also ask for a descriptive as well. Okay, so select fill in the blanks. When I select fill in the blanks, so it's going to take these two, the content I gave you, and then the type of question that I'm expecting, it will create a question. Go ahead and submit now. So now it creates the question and it will give you a very nicely created document, Word document with all the questions. So you see on the top, the Word document is created. You can open the Word document. So this has the questions based on the content what you provided. So here you can see the questions I asked for, fill in the blanks. So he took the content I gave, created a question as well as the answer. So this is typically people use in the education using generative artificial intelligence. You can create personalized assessments. Assessments are created in this form. Let's say I don't want fill in the blanks, I want multiple choice. So cancel this, select multiple choice. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a multiple choice question. So we can also build a random function. Okay. One question could be multiple choice, one could be fill in the blanks, one could be true or false, etc. So that is what the platform does. Our platform, it creates randomly, so that the student won't predict what question is going to come. Correct? And in a class of 100 students, the all 100 students will have a different question. Okay. Same content, different questions can be done. Okay. So this is another set of question it created, and this time it created multiple choices. So you can see there's a multiple choice question. The same content, the content is not changed, but the type of question is different. Okay. So it created the multiple choice questions. So this is fully automated function. It is not only for a particular division or a discipline or a program, anything, whether it's a physics or a chemistry or a math, whatever you want, all can be done. Okay, all can be done. So now we want to look at the next function. I'm a teacher. I don't.
Maths formula and chemistry formula and all.
Everything, ma'am. Everything. Yes, I said everything. That includes math, that includes chemistry, physics, botany, Tamil, English, everything.
What about Bloom's taxonomy?
So taxonomy, we can treat them as 9 words. Correct? Like there is certain taxonomy that we want to give. Correct? I don't want the question to start with what. I want the question to be start with when. I want the question to be start with is. You can provide all those taxonomy. Okay. So all of them will take some time. It will not overnight again. It will take some time, but technically it is possible. Any taxonomy you have, all can be incorporated.
And solution will also be generated.
I'm sorry.
If it is a big question, so then the solution will be
Yes, ma'am. I will provide answer. You will see that.
problem solved.
Can I get some multiple type of question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, anything is possible, ma'am. There's no limit on this thing. Correct? Whatever you think as a teacher, it's all possible. Okay? So anything that you could imagine, it is absolutely 100% possible.
We are worried about our roles, sir.
Sir, இல்லை sir, sir, இதுதான் நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். See, artificial intelligence வந்துட்டு, it is not a fear for us. These systems are again built by people like us. Correct? Artificial intelligence is not like going to a showroom and buying a cell phone and putting the cell phone. Correct? You have to build the system. Who's going to build? Human. And how did the human gains knowledge? From you as a teacher. Correct? So instead of worrying the job, we should find right skill to teach. Illing sir. See, worry உங்களுக்கு மட்டும் இல்லை, எல்லாருக்குமே இருக்கு actually fear இருக்கு. Okay, is this going to take my job? Yes, it will. But at the same time, it creates more opportunity too. Correct? So if you look at the people at data science role, they are getting paid very highly. Why? It is a very complex function. It is not a function that anybody can do. Correct? So it is very highly prestigious role. A lot of people are making good money out of this. So we should focus on gaining such skills. Correct? So industry needs that skills. Correct? Why does industries more focus on generative AI? That is the future. We need to have such skills instead of worrying about what will happen to my current job. There is more potential, more jobs, more things going to happen in the future. So for that, how I prepare my student and how I prepare myself to be part of that game. Correct? So that is what I think we should think about it instead of worrying
No,
about it.
actually, for the students come to the college not for study the subject. They can learn how to interact with the people, how to be various things they can learn in the college.
Of course, of course,
Okay.
of course, of course.
That's what we are worried, not like that.
So this system will not change where the education takes place. Is on campus or somewhere outside of campus, that will not disturb. Right? That is still going to happen. So what is disturbed? The COVID disturbed to transform education into a digital form. Correct? But that is not artificial intelligence. That is not artificial intelligence. That is more of operating model that we define because of the health condition. Correct? Health factors forced us to go instead of going in class, go and study online. Right? So that is a different approach. Here we are talking about automation of teacher function. Typically the questions are taken by a teacher, okay, or a faculty. That we are saying you could use a machine which provides questions for you. So answering, grading students, typically done by a teacher or a faculty. This we are saying you could use machine to do this one. So we are trying to help faculties, teachers, so that they can focus on their own interest domain. Then spending time on taking questions, conducting assessment, grading them. Of course, these are all mandatory functions for a teacher to do. But now we have a system in place, we have a tool in place. This could be accelerated. And the time could be wisely spent for somewhere else doing research, preparing some advanced concept and helping students to understand, etc. Alright, so
Same
let's,
thing in the student view, just if you think means whether they get the knowledge, the same thing.
so when the
The
student,
answers you are getting from this.
yes ma'am. So the student point of view, one thing that what I heard most of the faculties are saying. So when you ask the student about certain assignments, they directly go to ChatGPT and then get everything, then they represent as a you did. So we build a model. It will take a content and tell you whether it is created by a machine or a human. Okay? So if it is a human, you can simply say you go and create your own content. Okay? So that is also there is a model available. It will read and understand whether it is written by a human or a machine. If it is written by a machine, you can simply say, I'm not going to take this. You can go and write your own thing. Okay? So that is also can be automated. So at the first step, when you look at the content, it's a machine written content, I cannot create this. Okay. So the student has to do it. Anyway, let's move on. So now we wanted to understand. I'm a faculty. I'm trying to teach data science, but I don't have a study material. I don't have a textbook. It's a new topic. Okay? So I need a content, very well structured, formatted content, and the content should be logically flowed. Okay? It shouldn't be here and there. Right? So it has to have a logical approach to the content. So now select content generation. When I select the content generation, so this time it will not ask the content. It will ask what topic you want content. Do you want for maths, physics, chemistry, computer science, whatever it is. Let's say data science. I want to teach data science. I need content for data science. I'm just going to give an input and send to the model. So now the model will take the content, the topic, which is in this case data science, and then it will create content. So this content, if you are interacting with the ChatGPT, that content is not fully formalized. That content is not summarized and optimized. Here you see a summarized, optimized content. And let's say the topic what I asked for data science, it's too broad. Okay? Then it will find subtopics which is relevant to this one. To study data science, the student also need to understand data type, data structure, etc. So it will create all the subtopic. Once it's created a subtopic, it will generate content for each of the subtopic. Then it do the content summarization. And then it will do the content optimization, remove any duplicate redundant content is there. And it also arrange the content in a logical way to flow. Right? So before I study data type, I cannot understand data structure. Right? I need to know what type of data. If it's an integer, float, character. So that's a type. The type tells the structure. Can I store this in a list? Can I store this in a dictionary? Can I store this in a tuple? Right? So these are all type of data stored in a different structure. So the logical flow, describe or explain about data types, then go to data structure, and then data processing. How do we process a list? How do we process sets? How do we process dictionary? How do we process tuples? So these are all logical approaches. It understands that it presents the content in a logical flow. So that is what it's doing right now. It will take maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Once it's done, you'll understand. Okay? So this is basically how our platform utilizes the technology, generates content. So our platform, which is the ILMS that I was talking about, Intelligent Learning Management System, where SRM BCA students are currently using this platform. So for all, it's a 3-year, 6-semester program. So we provide all the material that is needed for the entire 3-year, 6-semester. Okay, so that is on our platform, and it is dynamically created. Okay, it is not a static content where they can go and study and then live with that. It will change based on how they perform. It's online, but it's taught by a teacher. Right? There are faculties who is teaching this one. There are faculties who is basically understand this and then work with the student. So the platform is online, 24/7, anywhere we can access. Okay, but it is the instructor-led courses. The faculty is the one who's going to teach this one. So they are the one going to walk through the student actually. Everything is documented. What time they logged in, what time they logged out, how did they perform, how much time they involved, etc. Everything is captured actually. It's still generating. It will take at least 1 or 2 minutes. Then you will see how it is basically created the content actually. So in this overall process, what we learned, how education could be reinvented. Okay, so far we thought if it is a question, it's going to be only teacher. If it is going to be grading, it's going to be only teacher. If it is going to be some kind of a study material or any notes, it's all going to be teacher. So now the system is fully changed. Right? We do need teacher, no question, but we also have an alternate, and we also have a substitute. I'm not saying it's a replacement. So it could be an alternate or it could be a substitute. If the teacher is not around, we can use this to create content, questions, and etc. Okay? So ultimately, all this is going to become mainstream reality. Okay? So it may not be today. 5 years from now, it will come. It will come. All right. It created the content. Yes. So you can see the content what we asked for, data science. We created a 20-page document. You can see the table of content. Okay. So these things you don't find in ChatGPT. ChatGPT does not create table of content, does not summarize the content, it does not provide the logical flow of content, how it is flowing. Right? So here, as I explained, it provides in a logical approach. This you can directly give it to the student. Okay, there is no further things required for it. You may ask, how do I know how accurate this content? Okay, how do I know whether this content is mature? So right now we have not built that function. As needed, we can build the function. We can do comparison. Okay, so we can take an existing content, something that we feel that is more relevant. We can compare and see how much this content is appropriate, or it's biased information, etc. So we can do all such things. Right? It's not an issue. But the idea behind what I wanted to understand, when people say generative AI, it generates content. Okay, so we looked at content in the form of voice, text, images. Now we are looking at very large text, like creating 20-page document, creating assessment. Okay, all those things. So now the next one. So we want to look at the grading student. Okay, so how do we grade the student? Okay, so the student could be writing in a descriptive answer, or the student could be writing in a Python program. Okay, so the machine will read what they have written. The machine will also give them a points, grading points. Right? Let's look at. So that's the actual answer. So once you select, now it will display the actual answer so that you can understand what the actual answer is given. So the question is normalization in machine learning. Okay, in machine learning, what is normalization? Explain. So that is the question. So this is the actual content given by the teacher. Faculty is given this one. So the faculty is saying the student answers something close to this one. Now let's upload one of the student's answer. Okay, so it will take the answer provided by the student. See how close to what the faculties are expecting. Okay, then it will give a grade. It will also give an explanation. Why did I give this grade? What is missing? Okay, so the teacher has given a guideline. These are the pointers I'm expecting. See how close to this content and the probability of, what probability this content is similar to what I'm expecting. And then based on that, it grades them. So I don't know what the grade it gave. Okay, I can't see this one. So whatever the grade, that's basically based on how the model feels about, based on the actual answer given by the teacher and the answer provided by the student. It compares and tells, okay, how close this one, and based on that, it does grades. And also understand the contextual. Contextual in this case, what is normalization in machine learning, right? So that is the context that I'm asking. In that context, is the response relevant? Yes, it is relevant. No, it is not. Right? So if we have another answer, let's say somebody written a very nice answer, which is more relevant to what the expectation. This is the expected one. You can see the different grade in this case. Okay. So this is how do I grade a descriptive type of answers. Okay. So I have a descriptive type of answer, and I want to grade this one, and this is what it is. Okay. Okay. So here I'm submitting another answer provided by student B, and this time it will give you a grade, and it also gives the explanation why I gave this one. Correct? It gives the reasons for that. Okay? So this is where the explainable AI that I was telling will come into the picture. You cannot just simply grade, okay, I'm going to give 2 out of 10. Okay, that is not acceptable. You have to explain. Okay, because there are some legal consequences. Correct? So you are supposed to give an explanation. Why did I give 2 points instead of 10 points? Correct? So that is legally required. Correct? You can't simply say it's only this. Go and live with it. Correct? That's not possible. So we have to provide a detailed explanation, which is something we can build. That is the explainable AI part. So the last one, we'll be done with the demo. So now let's say the students are writing Python program, or for that matter any program. Okay? So don't think only it's Python is possible, any program is fine. Now, you don't need to sit down and run the program and compile the program and see what the program is doing. The model will do everything for you. Okay? So here, I'm not providing any sample program. I'm expecting the model to create a sample program and see how well the student written this program. That includes documentation, indentation, and variable declaration, and any other things that involved in the best practices to look for everything. So I have one Python program. Okay, so this Python program is basically tells whether the given number is an odd number, even number. If you look at the program, it has a syntax error. Okay, it has a syntax error. In the for loop, there is a colon missing. Okay, so in the for loop, there is a colon missing. I don't know which program he picked up first. So based on that, I'm telling you. Okay, all right. So now let's go ahead and submit this one. So here, I'm not giving any sample answer. I'm just asking the model to figure this out, everything. So now the model is going to look at and then grade them. Okay? So, see, these are all demo purpose. Okay? If there's something that we want to build at a scale, then it's more effort involved. Okay? But the point what we are trying to make you understand, all these things are possible. Okay? All these things are possible nowadays. So the technology is evolved, the technology is brought to a level, whatever we think we want to do can be done. Okay. So it grades them and tells why it's been graded. Because the program has a basic syntax error, you can't even run this one. Since you can run, you don't know what the program is supposed to do. So it is giving an explanation and grade for this one. Let's say somebody written like a Vignesh, so he's a well qualified software engineer. He writes really nice program. So let's assume that he's given the second program. Upload that. Sorry, I did say Vignesh?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, I have Vignesh also on my team. Sorry about that. So this is Vikraman. He wrote an excellent program. And now we are trying to see how well this program is written. So the model can understand. It does grading. All right. So again, all these things can be improved, optimized as and when we need it, when we move along. So the idea behind how we can automate all the things. One last demo, then we will be done. Then we will be giving you some time to do your own exercise. So I was talking to Madam, Dr. Prasanna Devi Madam. So one of the project we did for medical transcript. What is the medical transcript supposed to do? A doctor and a patient talking. While they're talking, the conversation is recorded. Once the conversation is recorded, we take the voice, transform the voice to text, analyze the text, and understand what has been spoken, such as clinical condition, any health-related topics, symptoms, warnings. We take all of those, and based on this, we create medical transcript. What medicine would be appropriate for this conversation. So that is the live demo. Okay. Yes. So, not call center, medical transcript. Okay. Alright. So here you can see there are different models we could select, where it could be OpenAI, Google, or Meta. And a lot of framework we can use, depends on what framework we want to use. So this is just to show you, it is not only OpenAI, okay, it could be anything, okay, we can use that. So now, what it is asking for, give me the voice file, so download and upload the voice file. So this is a voice file, which is basically provides conversation between a doctor and a patient. So now, preview the voice, click the preview voice, the voice will play now.
Doctor, good morning. I'm Dr. Reynolds. How can I assist you today? Patient, hello,
Click on
Dr. Reynolds.
Text, generate text actually. So now what we are doing, we are trying to generate text from the voice. Okay, it takes the voice and generate the text. So you can see the text is here. Okay, so this is basically, it's going to take some time to extract the text. So in a real world, it's a live stream. When I say live stream, as and when the doctor and patients are speaking, the voice automatically transformed in the form of text. The model will start learning this. Okay? That's in the real world. So we can do that now. So I'm just trying to simulate and show you how we can use generative artificial intelligence, understand the conversation between a patient and doctor, and take the conversation, transform it to text, analyze the text, read a medical transcript. Okay? So this is what the actual process. So it is completed. So now we can preview the text. So this is the text actually. So based on the voice, the text has been transformed, extracted, summarized. It is a summarized version of the conversation. Now go ahead and submit this. So now I'm submitting this.
Summary or is a translation?
It's a summary.
Summary.
Yes, it is a summary. It is not a full translation. So it's a summary of what it is. As I said, the ideas demo, correct? Like now it's not a full scale solution, how it is working. So now I'm sending this to model. I'm asking the model to create a medical transcript. Medical transcript is basically what medicine is appropriate for this conversation, what health condition has been spoken, what clinical condition has been discussed. Okay. So now it generated the medical transcript. Again, this is not a real medical transcript. This is a sample. Reason it is a sample. Medical transcripts in the US are very compliance oriented, HIPAA compliance. So people can sue you if you take someone's information and try to display in a public forum. They will sue you. So these are all sample information what we put out there. So if you noticed here, voice went to text, text went for analysis. From there, the actual medical transcript was been created. So technically, it is generates the content from voice to text and then text to this type of documentation. So this is why it's called generative artificial intelligence. So we can go on and on. This is not the only thing. So anything you could think, if we want to use this technology to generate, all can be done. Okay. So Madam requested us to make it more of a practical session. So we created 3 simple lab for you to practice. So the lab is more towards how do you interact with the model and how do you learn prompt engineering. So we send that actual lab that what we built to Madam in a Google Colab. If we can follow that and build your own application. Okay, so that will be more useful. Can you bring one of those lab? Vikram. Did you send?
Prabha has posted in GCR.
Is it Google Colab? Okay, so Vikram, I think you are the master. Just explain at a high level. So we will spend another 10 minutes and then we will. 5 minutes. So
I request the participants to listen, they are going to explain the code. Then we can.
So there are 3 programs we have sent you as an example, as an exercise to follow. So what the program does, the objective of the program, it is primarily how you interact with the model. Okay, to interact with the model, what is needed. Okay, so that is the idea behind. So it will ask you interactively either a question or a prompt. Once you give, then it will take that and then generate response out of this one. You can see them. Actually, it's sent out as a Google Colab link. Okay, so you should have it one. So we will explain one of the programs so that you can follow. Once you understand, you can take the same program, build on your own. Okay, so that you have an idea, at least the base of working with large language models. All right. So I'm going to bring our expert, not Vignesh, Vikram. Yes.
Actually, in the first cell, we are installing an OpenAI library by using pip command.
But while running this, it will asking the notebook was authored by Vikraman.
You run away, so run anyway.
Right.
You can make copy of it.
You can do save as and then run as well. So anyway, let's
It's
just
copy is running.
okay.
Let's go to the the original will not get affected.
No, it's not affected.
It's not.
Okay, go to the next one actually.
Once it's done, we are importing the OpenAI library. After that, for here only we are using API key to interact with the model.
To all of this.
தெரியலையா?
They can also see on their own laptop, right? Like they can see in the laptop.
Otherwise we can zoom it.
Enter the key.
Yeah, before running the third cell, you should copy the below key. Because we need to input that. So first copy the key and then run it.
Like API key.
Yeah, you should.
That's the API key for OpenAI services, correct? To interact with the OpenAI, you need the key.
The whole sentence I have to copy or like key only?
Yeah, whole key.
Whole key.
Yeah, whole key you need to copy.
Yeah, the key in the word return.
In the output you can see the.
இல்ல சார் கீயை வந்து காப்பி பண்ணிக்கலாம்
You just copy this code.
ஃபுல் கோட காப்பி பண்ணி கீழே
Ma'am.
Maybe because of printing.
அந்த கீயை வந்து காப்பி பண்ணி
Just give it. இருங்க. Print பண்ணிட்டு போ.
Yeah, I said before running the cell, you,
Copy
yeah,
and paste.
but some of them are
Harder than it, that's what.
Ma'am, அது group
Yes, sir, I got the key. Oh, once connected. What are you
ma'am
running?
key போட்டு.
குரூப்ல கீயை போட்டு
சித்ராங்க
குரூப்ல கீ
போடுவாங்க. அது மூணு இதுவும் நான்
you
காப்பி
should ask for enter the key and do the paste
போட்டாங்களா?
and then you enter.
மேம் குரூப்ல இருக்கு. இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் போட்டுருக்கீங்க.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
கீ போட்டுருக்கீங்களா? நான் போட்டுருக்கேன். மூணு இதுக்குமே உள்ள கீ வந்துருச்சு.
So the key is common for all three programs. The key is not different for each program. The same key will work for all programs.
Here we are using the model, fine-tuning the model to optimize for a particular task to perform. Here we are assigning the role for the GPT models, like a generate a response based on the user. This is the instruction. Based on the instruction, the model will perform. I hope all are doing.
Yeah, they're following us.
From the model response, model is the function before we have assigned, and then we are.
Sir, once can you explain that definition? Model.
This method. In this method, we are giving a role to GPT models. Here you can see the generate response based on the user. This is the instructions we are giving to the model. You can go to second problem. Second problem. In this case, we are giving a translate English to Tamil. We are assigning the role. For the problem one, we are just giving the what the user gives the response. Sorry, user gives the request. It will respond based on the. Here we are interacting with the model. The hi messages are given by the user, and the responses came from the AI. That is hello, how can I assist you today? You can change the prompt by giving any prompt. You can typing giving the Python programming for odd or even. And then we are printing the response. That's it from my side. You can try using the problem. It's a problem 2 and a problem 3. Thank you.
Key enter after enter the key, still it's I don't know. Here, this program, that you already copied this program, how it can generate something. No, I'm talking about the program. How you create the program, then the Suppose you are asking to program a complicated program. That's not problem. Definitely provide some. You have something. So your role is to you are connected to Google and other things. Provide an interface. You provide interface or you create your own model. Who is the patent owner?
These things we can present in selection because things are available.
That's what I meant. That's why I asked the closing. Somebody claims this server, how do you define it?
There's nobody can claim this. It is publicly available. Like example, the information on Facebook is publicly available. Nobody can go and decline that is my own. Even though you are personal information, since it's on Facebook, you are declaring that anybody can access. Same for us. Anybody can access.